Bro,
Yeah, for sure.
I'd let that dude punch my face, bro. Like I, like I
Okay,
love that guy.
Hey,
on that note, okay, on that note,
hello everyone, and welcome to another fantastic episode of The Average Humans. This is the podcast where we talk about everything around us and all the relevant and irrelevant things, I suppose. My name is Linoy.
My name is Advet.
and my name is Wajid, and we are the average humans. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and press the bell icon, and the usual shenanigans of following us on our social media because we need to make some ching from this. All right, let's go.
Yeah, I'm a fat man. I like some cheddar cheese.
So
All right.
what's up, guys? How are you all doing? How's the week been? Uh, I think we have a lot of fun topics to discuss. I think we can start off with some of the trending ones. But yeah,
Oh,
before we get to that, how are you guys doing?
yeah, I'm doing good.
Uh,
I mean, this has been a funny 2 weeks, man. It is right now 6 June, and a lot of funny things have happened over the internet. I mean, let's get down to it.
Okay, so
Absolutely,
how,
absolutely.
well, just a quick question. How is it with the lockdown with you guys right now? You still guys under lockdown, or are you getting out of lockdown anytime soon? Any update on that?
It's a lockdown life. Yeah, yeah, yeah. This is all I do, man. Sit in front of a screen. That is all.
I think the government is doing a fantastic job in like punking us. They're like, okay, we got locked down till the end of May. Yeah, please be inside your home. We'll be like, sure, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense. And just the day before the lockdown ends, guys, another 2 weeks, and it's like a DJ Khaled, like another one.
So it's
You
just
never know
another
when
two
that's
weeks,
Just
or
another
another
2 weeks.
one.
Just.
well, you kind of brought it onto yourself, so let's not go there. But yeah.
See, look,
All
man.
right, all right. I think,
I'm just an
but yeah, I
average
think
human here. There are some special humans that made me in this place, okay?
Fair enough, fair enough.
But
All right.
I think in general, just like a small COVID update from India's side, at least from the Bangalore side of things are improving. The numbers are reducing. Again, not really sure how legitimate this is, but from what we can gather, things are slightly improving, and hopefully we can avoid that third wave in a better way. And yeah, I
So
think that's about
what
it with that.
from what I have gathered is that the positivity rate is still about roughly the same, but the recovery rate has drastically increased, especially in Bangalore. So that's a good sign. But I don't think the government's planning to reopen the state unless like the positivity rates really come down. Like I think if it's like say at 5 to 10%.
Yeah,
So
I
is
think
it
that
the
makes sense.
entire state or just city-wise? So it's based on the city's mayor who
No, so this
decides
is
if it's going to be
statewide. So they
lockdown or
don't.
anything.
So
State-wise,
statewise,
yeah.
yeah, it's a complete statewide lockdown. They don't really do it based on district or based on cities or anything like that.
Okay, fine. Fair enough. So it's kind of unfair for the people who, for the areas where they don't have much cases and districts which don't have much cases. Like for example, like if let's just take Kerala for example, right? So
Yeah.
let's say the Calicut district and the Trivandrum district, they're like worlds apart in distance. But if one district has lesser cases, then they should be able to, be at ease.
Uh, Actually, no. I think the situation is such that if any city is in jeopardy, since there's a lot of movement of people around, there's always a chance of contaminating the other city that's doing well. And for that to be avoided, the only way we can kind of make sure things will go smooth is to get all the cities to a safe point and then
Uh,
start off. So I think that's understandable. India, there's a lot of transportation, a lot of movement going around between people, and we got to do what we got to do, right?
no, I say
Anyway, I think that's
this.
enough. Yeah,
No,
yeah, please.
just one more simple point to add. No, the reason I said this was back in 2020 when we had full blown lockdown over here in Saudi, intercity travel was banned first of all, and then based on the cities which had a little lesser cases, they opened up those cities. For example, like Riyadh and Dammam region was opened up from lockdown like 2 weeks prior to Jeddah. Jeddah was still under
Hmm.
lockdown because the ICU beds were not available. So Jeddah was still in heavy lockdown, but Riyadh and Dammam was functioning normally. So that's what I was thinking, and it actually worked well. So I was just wondering, like, if that makes sense in this situation, because businesses have to run in one way or the other. So let's not like kill every businesses. Just try to balance it out, you know.
Yeah, so the only thing
Yeah, I
that they've
think in the
done
end of the day,
right now.
Ambani will make a shitload of money.
I
Yeah.
think what they've just relaxed at the moment right now in business is just they've now allowed export-based companies function. Where,
Okay.
but travel between states is allowed technically, but you can't really do anything traveling because every state is in lockdown. So
Okay.
yeah.
Hmm.
So everything work related is still in place, like it's still functioning. Although there has been a significant amount of unemployment increase going on in this second wave, but it is what it is. What can you?
Drastic.
Yeah.
Let's hope for the best.
Uh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think we can kind of move on. This is a topic that we will keep touching on because until passes us, I think we'll give a small update at the start of the show. But moving on, I think some of the trending things that I want to start off with is Clubhouse. Have you guys checked out Clubhouse yet? It's all over the place.
Hell
Everyone's talking about
yeah.
it.
Hell yeah. Clubhouse is the scene, dude. I mean, we Android lovers just came late to it. All you iOS privileged fucks got it. but and
Hey, listen,
Amen to that.
I haven't even checked it out, so I don't come under that bracket, so it's okay.
cop out.
Fair
What
enough,
a
fair enough.
cop out.
But I
No,
do
the
want to
thing is,
talk about the platform itself. I do want to talk about the platform itself because I'm a conversationalist. You know, I like to talk. I like to have conversations. I like to make points. I like to hear other people make points and try to find mid ground between our arguments if we tend to differ or something like that. And I think it's a fantastic form of content because that's why we have debates, right? It is very alluring. There are points to be constantly heard and stuff like that. So it's very engaging in that form. But I'm personally not a visual content creator, except for this. Hello. But I guess for me, in that sense, I'm really digging the vibe over at Clubhouse because
I'm downloading
I'm
it
getting
right
to
now.
have some. Yeah, you definitely should because it's a place where I can really voice out myself, meeting a lot of folks across Bangalore, connecting back with a lot of people that I used to meet back in my fun days over there, and it's a lot of fun. Yeah, definitely digging
Okay, quick
Clubhouse
question.
big
Is
time.
it this thing? Can you guys see it?
Yeah, it's with a lady's face.
Yeah.
Yeah, lady's face. Oh, okay. Fair
Yeah.
enough. Let me just download it and check it out. I have no clue what it is about, but since you guys told to get on it, yeah, let's do it.
Oh, I
It's
definitely
just
think we should do a
basically
version of.
it's just what we're doing without a video, basically that. And
Yeah.
the user interface is highly optimized, which is the basic success of that app. And
Okay.
yeah, and also it has a schedule integration with it where you can be notified uh, via your mail calendars and everything to join a particular room. And there's and the I think the main success of Clubhouse is that the diversity in it, right? Like you have various, rooms to enter with various topics, so you can get into your comfort zone or you can get out of your comfort zone and just talk to people and all that. And it seems so far to be a very open, friendly, open-minded environment, so that way it's good, not none of that toxicity bullshit, so which is very good. And if toxicity does enter the chat, you can kick it out, like
Is
just
it like
Yeah.
a
easily kick it out.
very is it like a very PC culture, cancer culture kind of application, or people actually have the gall to speak their mind over there and not?
Yeah, so it basically varies between it varies based on your network, right? So if your network has
Okay.
those kind of, those kind of engaging people who would get themselves involved in that, yeah, you have it. Otherwise, if you want to look into dude, Elon Musk and all get into it, bro, and talk about crypto and everything. They talk about and then he'll get into a meme group and talk about Dogecoin and all that stuff. There's a very interesting room that I saw today. It's basically a room where potential entrepreneurs can pitch their products to VCs. And
Yeah, yeah,
Ah,
yeah.
when I
okay.
went, yeah,
Interesting.
and I went through that, and oh my god, dude, you are just flooded with these ideas, from various people all over the world, and It's just very refreshing to hear that. And then apart from that, I think like it's such a classy environment. That's the main thing about Clubhouse, right? It's like you can just filter out the spam. There is no spam actually, and then it's just and then people are just suddenly in this classy mode. Like all the trashiness is gone. But there are trashy
I
there are
definitely
trashy
feel that.
rooms as well. Like I saw a lot of groups where like come in single and leave committed, and all kinds of groups are there.
I wasn't one of those. No, no. Okay, you are married, but I actually went to one of those, and I was surprised by how
Why am I not
open that
surprised
group
Illinois
was.
was there?
No, that's what like I thought it'd be like a 2 minute thing. I just go in and be probably like fucking disgusted by what's happening over there and fuck off out of there. But shit, the group was actually a lot of fun. You're having like you will play like these really silly games, kill, kiss, marry, and stuff like that. But even that is done in a very civilized manner, like probably how we would do during our college days when you're sitting around between 5, 6 people and you're having a very civilized way of having fun.
Hmm.
It doesn't make sense, definitely it's a lot of BS, but it's good BS. It's not that cringy or disrespectful or exclusive sort of a thing.
Okay.
And I won't lie, I had fun. I actually started connecting with a few people, guys, girls, and it's really good to hear people voice out opinions in a very open and accepted manner. It's really nice.
So as Linoy said, you can get your potential future missus. Go ahead.
Oh no, no! I think they make it very
So,
clear over there. It's
hold,
just like a
ho-
random connect.
so hold on. Is Clubhouse gonna sponsor our podcast for this episode because we've talked a lot of good stuff about them?
I mean,
I
if
Clubhouse?
mean, look at
Clubhouse
look
supposed
at the
to,
conversion we just did. Wacko just downloaded right now. Come on.
Yeah, I just downloaded
exactly,
live on the
exactly.
podcast. Come on, Clubhouse, you gotta give us
Come on,
something.
man.
It's like there's this saying, right? There were two people walking with a white elephant, right? And another person with his friend was sitting by the road, and his friend tells like, let's just ask those people to give the white elephant to us. And his friend was like, "Are you mad? They're not going to give us a white elephant." Then he's like, "You'll never know until you ask." So yeah, Clubhouse, come on,
Hey,
come
never
on.
know, never know.
You never know.
Not going to heavily endorse it, but so far it's been so good, and hopefully it stays that way. There's a lot of regulations and stuff coming in, so hopefully they don't succumb to stupid regulations, and it keeps to become at least continues to become a platform where people can voice out their concerns, their opinions, and be in a accepting environment.
Yeah. So speaking of platforms and social media right now, what is happening with the social media situation in India, man? Like the companies are being threatened to be closed down if they're not going to give user data over to the government and stuff like that. Okay, fine. So the whole concept of freedom of speech and everything is just gone out the window. What's happening? Like, what the hell?
I mean, it is a little nuanced, I would say, because definitely I'm not up for it. I think we the people or we the citizens of the country have the right to our privacy. But every constitution that we abide by across internationally, even the ones in US or UK and all the other progressive countries, definitely have laws within them that subject these universal, rights to regulation. Even what do you say? Freedom of speech in America is regulated. It's regulated in the UK, and I think India is just trying to follow suit. I don't think they will do as good of a job as the other countries have, and that's the scary part. I don't think the regulation of these rights is the problem. I think when country that's not doing so well in terms of governance takes upon such an embarks on such a venture, it may not end up well for the citizens. A great example for this would be WhatsApp. WhatsApp did a lot of work to bring in the end-to-end encryption. I think, again, I'm not talking for WhatsApp over here. They've been very shady, but they did bring in end-to-end encryption, and I think I can kind of sleep a little better knowing that the conversation that I'm having is not being monitored or listened speeds dropped by WhatsApp. Now that this regulation has come in, I think that's the end of end-to-end encryption, because they can't do end-to-end encryption and let the Indian government know what's happening in there.
Yeah.
So that is the scary part. That is the scary part, because I think the best way to kind of deal with this as citizens of this country is to stop using these platforms. Don't use them.
But what are your options, man? Like, look at it. So my problem is with this whole thing was, like you said, if it was in America or the UK and stuff like that, and I'm not saying by any measure that America or UK are amazing countries and they, what do you say, are amazing for living and all those things. I'm not saying those things, right? But there's a little level of trust that I know I'm not going to be randomly put in jail for, protesting something against the government because the government messed up in something publicly. And I went out on a protest or I put out a post about regarding how badly they messed up. And I know I'm not going to get slapped in the wrist by a UAPA and be put in jail, right? Now the situation
I
in
think
India, that's the situation in India, right? That's
I
the
think I think I
problem.
think I think that's a,
That is
great
scary,
segue. I think Advait, you have a point over there to share, but I'll just quickly plug in one thing. Um, do we Indians lose out much? I cannot, for the love of God, remember any major movement that has happened recently in India. Again, I think the best movement I can remember is freedom fighting. The entire country marched out for a cause. After that, I don't think we really have that sort of a thing in India, and it is absolutely stunning to kind of see metropolitans, big ass cities like Delhi, Mumbai, Pune, Bangalore, parts of Ernakulam in Kerala, Coimbatore, Chennai. So many cities are there where there are a lot of educated people staying in close quarters. And I think it really speaks towards the mentality of the country to a certain extent, where again it kind of goes back to my life, my problem. I'll worry about it. You do your shit. And I don't think that's a sad part. After some of these things that have transpired, it is baffling to see the lack of resistance as a unified front from the citizens of the country. And as long as that does not exist, I don't think we're losing out on much, because to have a right that you're not exercising, it's just a burden for the constitution. And I
Nah,
mean it in no way that I'm supporting it, but
yeah.
Indians need to like voice up. We need to show up, and I don't think we are doing that. And we can keep quiet. We can keep quiet. We can let the country, the governing parties do whatever they want. But once they do that, and you are keeping quiet when they are doing it, I think it's not justifiable for us to crib.
Now, I think you might agree with me on this factor. You said that the last moment was like the freedom fight, that where the country united together and did something. Okay, but there has been, like, for the past 2 3 years, if you see the what was it, NRC, the CAA amendment bill, that's when the whole country came out and started protesting. People started voicing their opinions on social media, speaking out loud. It did create a ripple in the country. At the same time, the whole farmers protest, the farmers came out, and that whole thing happened. But then again, you see what's the end result. The end result is there is no change, right?
Mm.
And the people who were at the forefront of it are caught
Are
and
getting
put in jail,
victimized.
are
Yeah.
put and
I,
caught
I,
and put in
I I
jail.
have.
So what happens is, I don't know, for the love of me, like, if I was in that situation, okay, I can't comment too much because I'm not in the country anymore. I don't live in the country. I do visit, that's it, but more or less I'm living outside the country, so I can't comment. But the thing is, it hurts for me to be a citizen of the country and see how the situation of our country is. But I think there is this slight fear in the country that, look, the majority is supporting this right-wing government, and then the minority who's fighting for it is going
uh,
into jail. I'm not sure that
I
that's
think,
how I see
yeah.
it. So
No,
that's
so
the thing. So
like I'll just explain it from a very a layman's point of view. So it's very simple, right? You have two kinds of people. You have one kind of people who keep quiet, and then you have one kind of people who go and protest the crap out of the thing, right? The problem is that those who are keeping quiet and those who are protesting are targeting what? The government, right? Now, what is the government doing? Absolutely nothing in terms of your protest and in terms of your silence. That is basically the issue right now. Like, you can do anything you want to protest or voice up or anything, but the government I'm not here to say I support the government. I'm not here to say I don't support the government. But I'm here to really say that the government don't care what you say. Though. They don't care about it because they're not going to
I
respond to your
will.
thing. They're not going to respond to your protest. They're not going to respond to your issues because they haven't. Like, if you look at US, if you look at any other parliament, right, of any other country, you can see the rapid fire of questions that they have to take live, and in India you don't really see that practice at all. You don't see them being confronted, and then how do they answer those questions when they are being targeted? I don't know if you know this. Like, have you seen
I
Tejasvi Surya's video recently? Like, it happened like a week and a half back with this whole bet scam accusations, and then he got confronted by by those journalists,
That
which was
was
commendable.
amazing.
And did
That
you
was
see
amazing.
Again,
I
I think
how he spoke, right? And I don't care about the guy. I think I don't want to like bash him or anything, but I just want to highlight like the people in power. Like, you can kind of see the lack of education, like in terms of communicating, at the least, communicating the issues to us to make us understand whether we need to protest or we don't need to protest. And it's all happening in the middle of a pandemic. All of us have lost our people. We've lost a lot of people. There's a lot of loss happening. We don't have the energy to actually go and try to overthrow or try to support a government right now. It's just so wishy-washy at the moment right now. So
I think just to add to what Advait said over there is a very clear demarcation of people in India. One is the people who voice out, and the other is the one that just choose to keep quiet. And I think the problem in India is, I think the farmers protests are a great example, because I think 10 million odd farmers came out to protest for this. 10 million. That is fucking ridiculous. It's a huge number. But the problem is the population of the country. 10 million is less than 1%. I think 1% is 100 million, right, of the Indian population.
Yep.
So it is 0.1% of the population of the country is out for a cause. And it quickly just kind of makes it irrelevant. And if you take the same scenario, if you go to, say, any of the European countries, which is much smaller in area and much smaller in terms of population, if 10 million people come out of like 100 million, that's 10% of the population. The government has to take action, because at that sort of a percentage of people protesting for the same thing, the government will lose out. Especially in democratic countries, the government will lose out. And I think that is the fundamental point at which India is failing, because yes, there are a lot of people protesting for a lot of things, but the numbers have to be magnanimous. Like, we need a protest at the level of, say, 300 million people to have a dent at 3%, 4% of the population is actually worrying about something. As long as that percentage is less than 1%, I really don't think the government is required to. Again, not saying that these causes are not important. These causes are fucking important. If the farmers are not treated well, we will die hungry no matter how happy we are. But when it's just 0.1% of the population is voicing out this concern, the government can use bureaucracy, legitimation, 10,000 lawyers, and just quickly wishy-washy the whole thing. I think that's the same thing that we mentioned with the South Bangalore situation. Yes, that guy was called out and stuff like that. But what number of the population cared? I think Bangalore population, I would say, is like what, 10, 15 million. If even 1 million people did that, it's less than 1%. And again, quickly we lose out in terms of the relevance of, or not relevance, the mass impact of a protest. And that's what I think India, we either need to gather our shit together, or keep quiet for now and then keep quiet later as well, because things won't get better by itself. I think that is the one thing we learned from this, from the past 2 years, I suppose. Anyway, I want to talk about Baba Ramdev, dude. I mean, we don't do a lot of things right in
and
this
then
country.
we go to Baba Ramdev. My God, that guy, man. I mean, we should, like screw Kardashians, bro. Like screw Kardashians, man. We got Ramdev up in this bitch, but he is so delusional. I don't care who supports him. I don't care who's loyal to him. He is delusional as fuck. Let's be real. Like,
I think it's one of the only things our country has done right in the past few months or the past 2 years, where we have actually called out, not we, I don't think the people called him out per se again, typical us, but an actual institution of India realized that this is a threat to the people, to the medical infrastructure of the country, and called him out big fucking time. They, like, I actually saw a news clip, right, where this Ramdev fellow and there's a Indian Medical Institute director or something on the call, and this guy's actually doing product placement in the frame. He's actually keeping his crap shit on the frame while talking to this guy about this issue. And that guy called him up. He's like, "Fuck you! Remove this from the frame." And he's blasting the news people. How the f- are you keeping this on the frame? What's the point of
Wow.
this discussion? And I absolutely hope that this don't does not what do you say apologize. I hope he does not provide the demanded written apology, and he is fined those thousand. I don't think 1,000 crores is a big thing for him. That's the sad part.
Yeah, it's
Patanjali,
like a drop in his
yeah, it is. It is. I think
ocean of
Patanjali is a
wealth.
multi-billion-dollar company. Yeah, and I guess it kind of just follows suit of the guy in the orange or whatever lungi situation in India. If you want to talk shit, wear that attire and talk shit. I think you can get by with a lot of things than other people would.
And they recently came up with a mandatory book for students who are studying philosophy in UP, which is authored by Yogi Adityanath and Baba Ramdev.
I mean, the philosophy that we've been working on for 1,000 years, dude. What the fuck do we know? Science knows. Like, what the fuck does science know, man? Huh? How dare does science come and try to belittle the people who were just born like 40, 50 years ago, and they grew up in a particular part of India, and they kind of just became the folks of the town, and now what they say should be learned by the country. And again, I think we Indians are more than happy to welcome such absolutely ridiculous notion.
It just puts everything to shit, you know. I was like planning to go do my doctorate hopefully in the coming 2 3 years and get my doctorate and then co-author few papers and books and all. I'm like, nah, man, I just need to do some outrageous stuff like these guys and then write a book and it'll be in the universities. Students will be why am I spending so much studying and working on those things, man? Doesn't
Yeah,
make
it's
sense.
stupid, dude. Why are you studying? It doesn't matter. You want to make a case, come to India, be literate, and join the political scene. You can say whatever the
Uh,
fuck you want.
I
I'll
swear, man.
pass. I'll take a pass on that. I'm good where I'm at right now, doing a podcast.
I
Yeah,
mean,
I'm
I
good.
mean that's the that's the best and the sad part, right? Each of
Yeah,
us can take that pass. All of
yeah,
us can take that pass, and I think
yeah.
India, most of the population of the country, is actively going to take that pass. But we'll pass it now. We'll pass it later, and the more we pass it, the more stronger they will integrate it into the systems of the country, the infrastructure
That's
of
the
the
problem.
country. And a point will come where you can't pass. Your children will not be able to pass it, and we will learn it as our fundamental philosophy, I suppose. Hoping none of us will be around that, by then. It will be at least 100 years down the line. It would be a shame if my child or any of our children have to what do you say read these books, man. Oh my god.
Yo, I've seriously like been thinking like if I have a kid down the line, like, am I really gonna put that kid in school, like, or am I gonna homeschool the kid? Because like honestly, like I don't want a child to go through like these kind of toxicities going on, and then to and I don't want them to be brainwashed and confused as coming here. Like, coming back home all confused. Like, I don't want that for them, and it's just overwhelming. Also, like, I don't know. Let's just see how it
I
goes.
think
But
I'm not going to do a plugin for my workspace, but I am in the education sector, and there's been no better time
This is
to
a
have
plug-in.
international. No, I'm not mentioning any names. I'm not mentioning just online education for to a great extent, because back in the day when we were children, at least even not back in the day, I think even the 2000s, homeschooling was not easy. You had to find the right tutor, get the right amount, figure out the logistics of it all. There's a lot of things to figure out. You don't even have online systems back then. But now I think the technology and the efforts of a lot of edtech companies, I think India is becoming the grounds for edtechs, right? I think there are over 500 edtechs in India right now, and the efforts of these individual edtechs, even though if they may all have different philosophies, it provides us people, average humans, a choice in the matter. Like, if you choose to kind of homeschool your children, there are fantastic options out there. In Bangalore, I know Vedantu. I work for another company. There are Khan Academy, which provides free education and stuff like that. And I think now more than ever, if you actually want to take up what do you say homeschooling for your children, there are legitimate options out there. And the more progress the edtech space makes, it will become more legitimate, and more of the offline, old school forms of education that we are more attuned to, or what we would officially consider more credible, will have to kind of align with them. Because so far, edtechs had to align with these credible sources like NCRT, CBSE, ICSE for India, and so many other international syllabi, right?
Yeah.
But now the growth of the edtech sector is such that these credible sources will become like NASA. I think it's a great analogy of that. NASA was the pioneer for space exploration. You could not do anything without NASA's consent. How NASA did is the way to go about it. But NASA has strategically moved away from that. They stopped doing. They're still doing a lot of things, but they're trying to align themselves and become that sort of a moderator for a lot of these booming other industries or other platforms that are coming up in the space exploration stage. And I think that's what's going to happen in edtech as well. These credible sources will become more aligned with edtech spaces, and we will definitely, I can assure you, have a lot of pretty good homeschooling options. If I ever have a kid, if I'm in India, homeschooling is the way that I will put them through. I will not put them through a school because I don't trust the infrastructure in this country, the offline infrastructure at least.
But you know what? Like, I would say, like, although I agree with you regarding edtech and its direction and its benefits, right? Like, man, kids should grow up with kids too. They should like you two grew up in school together, right? And look at where you are right now, right? Like, I want that for kids too, right? Right. That's the only drawback.
I think that's
Exactly
that's
what
what
I
I'm
was
saying.
gonna say. That's
Actually,
exactly what I was
that's
gonna
what
say.
there are going to be options like that. You may not be able to go to a school where you will meet students who come from say 20, 30, 40 kilometers away, because that's the kind of schooling we used to. I remember in my school, I think it covered a radius of at least 20 to 30, 40 kilometers across the city that I lived, and just students just fucking poured in from everywhere. I think it will be very difficult for homeschooling infrastructures to kind of mimic that, but what it will try to mimic is try to connect kids in the local sphere, maybe at a 10-kilometer radius. Wherever your child is within 10-kilometer radius, they will have the opportunity. Homeschooling will not just be a child sitting with a computer or with a teacher anymore. The modern form of homeschooling, which I personally work on, is going to be a lot more flexible. This thing that children need to grow up with children is very, very important. Maybe it will be very different from how we did it, but I don't think it will be a condition that will be overlooked, because I personally, as an educator, as someone who works in the industry, will never kind of let that happen. Something I strongly stand by. Children should grow up with children, and they should have that sort of exposure as well. So I personally don't think it's going to be a much bigger of an issue, but definitely it'll be different from what you and I know and feel about schooling. It'll be a very different picture.
See, that goes back to the whole thing. The problem with this whole homeschooling culture and how much ever advanced online education is going to be, right? One of the major issues with that is what? We can't control our students or kids in a way where they become socially awkward in the future, right? Now, for example, imagine all of us were sitting at home in front of a screen talking to each other, and that's the only interaction that we had with each other for the rest of our lives, right? And a point comes where you have to actually meet the human being in front of you. How would you be able to, how would you act, right? Like sitting on this chair and talking to you guys is a different ball game than actually meeting you guys, talking to you guys face to face, right?
Yep.
So all these acquired social skills is going to be diminished. On top of that, one thing I hate in today's culture, especially when it comes to parenting, the new generation parents and all, one thing I've noticed, like, first of all, yes, there are some parents who are doing it right. I'm not saying there are no parents who are not doing it right, but then there's this whole new phone culture where they give the phone to the kid, go watch some cartoon on YouTube, and that's it. Don't bother me, right? Imagine our parents had done that to us. Imagine imagine a time where we didn't have 5 p.m. going out, calling your friends from the neighborhood, going and knocking on the doors, and what do you say, saying, Auntie, can this Linoy come out to play? Auntie, can Hatim come out to play? Auntie, or your friends, Auntie, can Adwait come out to play? Imagine that scenario where you didn't have that. Do you
Yeah.
think you would be socially developed right now as the human being you are right now if you didn't have all those things in your life? And now all I see is kids. That's it.
No, I think what the
What?
difference was in our time, let's say in the 90s and 2000s, socializing was not a thing to really like make a thing about. Where now,
Worry about.
yeah, where now
Yeah.
today it's like, okay, we need to allocate socializing time for the child. It's like that right now.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's so fucking true.
Yeah,
It's so
Actually,
sad, man.
so
yeah.
I will again come back to this on twofold. A, the first fold where you mentioned that what if our parents had done this to us. The what do you say? Final observations is that what our parents did and what we will do to our kids in a digital what do you say future will not be very different. It's really kind of difficult to wrap your heads around it. But it is something that we realize it's not going to be different. It's going to be the same thing. It's just that time would have passed and technology would have increased, but the parent student involvement, it will remain pretty much the same. That's sadly the hard truth that we have kind of seen at the end of a lot of research. And the second thing, I think this is a very very prevalent discussion. I think I actually was kind of having a conversation with someone about this. Gen Z, Gen X, future gens, will they be better at having virtual what do you say interactions with other human beings, or will they be, or even if they do become like incredibly good at having virtual relationships more than what we are. We are people who kind of grew up in the old school fashion. I remember a time before dial-up modems. If I wanted to talk to you, I had come face to face and talk to you. But we've come a very long way in just
Landline.
landlines.
Yo,
I
on
mean, I
on a
swear.
side note, I can hear the dial-up connection right now in my head, dude.
Yeah,
But
Yeah.
but yeah, but you have to imagine that was just 20 years ago. It wasn't like a lifetime ago. It's just 20 years ago. And I think our generation is going to be like that keystone, that generation that did the transition. Every other generation will be born into the transition phase. Our parents had to transition very late in their lives. My parents even now struggle to kind of get their what do you say minds around some of the more common things that we have, like Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook and stuff like that. WhatsApp, for a lot of features of WhatsApp are alien to them. But look at us. We've become like, we're living in at least me and Advait, who are in the country, we've been living in this virtual world for the past 2 years. We haven't had physical what do you say interaction with a lot of people, and we're getting by. And we are actually adapting pretty well to it. So I think what will happen is very weird, and I think it kind of brings back to what it said. Will they be able to handle social interactions at a physical level? And I'm not talking like the nasty
yeah.
stuff. I'm just talking like literally meeting two friends and going out for drinks. I think there's one episode in How I Met Your Mother kind of touched upon this in a very How I Met Your Mother manner. It's this episode where they kind of remember a time where there was no cell phones and they would just sit around and talk and stuff. And then the time of cell phones came and they still sit around and talk, but everyone's on their phones.
Yeah.
And I think that is sadly going to be a version of what we will work with. I don't think that's the thing. I don't think virtual what do you say connections are bad or less charming or less effective than physical connections. I mean, one-on-one personal connections. But I think it'll be a future that we will have a tough time kind of getting our heads around, just as much as our parents are having a tough time getting their heads around the advanced features of Instagram. They don't know what a reel is. We will not know what our kids' social circles or social structures are, because they will kind of function really well in it. They will get all their conversations going. They'll have more chances of communication than ever before. But we will be old by then. We'll be in our 50s, and we'll be like, "Arey, bachche, kya kar rahe ho? Huh? How? What is this? Put that phone down." We're like, "Daddy, mommy, shut up. You don't know what I'm talking about. This is how we live." And I think that's going to be the case, because we will not be able to wrap our heads around their reality. And I think their reality will be just as good as ours, because if we go back and tell our grandparents about having cell phones, having podcasts, talking one-on-one discussions, having debates with 3-4 people in front of a laptop and not in person, it will not work out for them. They just absolutely will not be able to wrap their heads around it. And I think it's just going to be a thing of generation gap, but we will kind of get through, and I think things will be fine. We will eventually make babies physically, that will happen. So I think even the virtual connection itself will only transcend to a certain point, post which there will be one-on-one personal interactions that can't be avoided because we are physical beings. We haven't transitioned into those transcended digital beings.
It's just sad, dude. Call me old-fashioned, but it's just sad.
I mean, that's exactly what my grandparents as well said, right?
Like,
I
no,
mean,
but then
the
again,
whole.
look, but then again, like when I speak to my dad and everything, when I speak about how his childhood was and everything, on an basic elementary level, his childhood and my childhood didn't very much. Like he used to go out with his friends. I go out with my friends. He used to go out in the evening to play football with his friends. I used to go out in the evening to play basketball and football with my friends. You know, that elementary level of thing was there. It was not the major concern for us is that, oh, we need to sit online and play games or we need to be on our phone 24/7, right? There was this disconnect from technology. Even when we had technology advancement throughout our ages, we did have that moment of disconnect from technology, and where we were going out interacting with people. We gave priority for that 2 hours of playing basketball in the hot sun rather than sitting in game net and playing Battlefield. You know what I mean? So, but that is not there today. We used to play Battlefield for 3, 4, 5, 6 hours. You know that. You, me, we used to sit in game net. We used to bunk school, go play games in this gaming center, what do you say, for 6, 7 hours straight, and post that we used to go hit our basketball practice sessions. You know, that's a different
But no,
story altogether.
like I
But the
said,
whole point is we had that balance, you know. But today I see this priority given to new gadgets and this whole virtual life. I'm like, I don't see that whole interaction of going out and doing stuff like that. So that's kind of sad. That's all.
I mean, I want to hear what Abid has to say, but I'll end saying this. As long as COVID is kind of taken care of, the future will always have a physical component to it, just because of the fact that we are physical beings. We are not digitized systems or consciousness running inside a mainframe or something like that. We are physical beings. We have unavoidable physical requirements. Sports. I can't assure you that our kids will be able to hang out the same way we used to hang out. Remember the shisha days, Wajid? But I think that component I can't really vouch for it, but sports, doing competitive stuff, physical competitive, any activity, competitive activity like sports, music, concerts, stuff like that, where the physical presence is required. I think they will have that opportunity. It will be very different. Again, it's not a future that can be correlated to our fathers, like you said. You and your father can relate to each other at some level, right? Similarly,
Yeah.
you and your son will also be able to kind of relate, or your daughter will be able to relate at some point in terms of this digital transformation. It's just that between I mean, 3 generations, the first and the third will not be able to relate.
Will not
I
be
think
able
that's
to,
the
yeah.
interesting. Otherwise, what do you have to say, man?
No, I mean, like, see, look, in terms of human beings and interaction, that's always going to be there. There's no escape from that, okay? I mean, like, I think my only concern is from a children's point of view, right? From a children's perspective, like, are they going? If they're homeschooled, then there needs to be a method or something in place for them to at least know how to like socialize with other kids. Because if they
Yeah.
don't, like honestly, like today, right now, like when I work and when I talk to clients and all that, right, and I deal with all kinds of various clients and all that. Apart from my work experience, right, a lot of the interactions I dealt with in school, like when it comes to like the bullies to the nice people to the softies and all that, like
Yeah.
I learned how to deal with those dynamics in school, so I know how to deal with them, in my work, right? So it really
Yeah.
translates from that stage to the next stage in your life, right? So I don't want kids to really
True that. True.
miss out on that, because you experience so much, you learn a lot when you're a child, right? And you really start it's a building block. In the end of the day, you do build a lot of these blocks in your head at a young age, and I just don't want them missing out, so that when they get into the real harsh, cruel world, I don't want them to see up, basically. So
Absolutely, absolutely. I think I know. Let me just try to do some story looping over here. It kind of comes back to our initial point, right? I think that is where exactly digital companies like Clubhouse will come into play, where people get to just fuck around verbally with other people in a digital space. Because even though, like, exactly taking the point that you mentioned, Advait, definitely the physical aspect of bullying is something that is very difficult to experience, and I mean, no one should experience it, but even when you're even the person who's the victim or the bullier, there is a physical component to it. I think at that point, that physical component will be reduced, but there will be bullying. That we are very well know how intense cyberbullying can be, and I think our children will or our next generations will be more capable of dealing with the cyberbullying than physical bullying. But at the same time, I think the physical component can kind of be offset by how parents come into the picture. I think parents will definitely have to step up the way. I mean, parenting has worked flawlessly for 1,000 years because the paradigm itself never changed. It's a non-digital world. You keep doing the same thing again and again. I think my father, his father, his father, his father, his father, they've all kind of had the same paradigm. We are that very tricky generation, I would say, from the 1980s to 2010, 2000, even 2020, even the people being born just now who will have kids in the next 50 years, how we parent our children, because we have to be very conscious about this. We have to be very conscious about the fact that our children will not have these physical exposure to such things. And us being those people who've had this exposure will have to offset for it. Because we can teach. That's the best part about children. Children are like a completely empty glass made of clay. You can shape it however you want and fill it with whatever you want. And parenting will play such a key role in how the next generation comes up, because it's never been more trickier. It's never been more lucrative, and it's never been more challenging to be a parent. And I think. Fingers crossed. I think all of us in this generation are. I think we are at a point where we have been the most inclusive generation of all time. I mean, I'm not generation. A few generations put together, the closer, when millennial, Gen Z, Gen X, and stuff like that. We are the most inclusive generation of humans that have ever existed, and I think we will make good progress. I don't think our children will not escape the effects. Definitely our children will parent their children in a much better way than we would be able to do it, because they would be more acclimated to the paradigm that is kind of going to happen, because the digital thing is going to stay for a while, right? The biggest change between our generation and the previous generations is that the whole digital thing came up, and from here on out the digital thing will always be there as long as there's no fucking like D-Day shit or some apocalypse event happens. The digital thing will always happen, and our kids will be able to better navigate through it than we are able to nowadays.
Yeah. I hope they build basketball courts when people migrate to Mars too. That's all.
Yeah.
Hey, if they are building basketball courts up there, I think the hoop should be a little bit higher, because if
of
we get the
gravity.
same hoop distance everyone will be
gravity.
dunking like
Yeah.
and I'd
Yeah,
be
but then they
dunking.
can have it on the court. They can have the Earth's gravity. They can set an artificial gravity system, and they can just
Yeah.
make it the Earth's
Let's
gravity.
make sure Elon is given more power to make these things happen.
I mean, okay, hypothetically, if
He's
Mars
Lex
was
Luthor, man.
hypothetically, if Mars was like set up right now for you can live there, would you take the ticket and go?
No.
Binoy?
Again, I think you guys know me really well. I am a little off some center when it comes to such things. Unless I'm married, unless I have commitments on Earth, if it's a one-way ticket 10 years down the line, if I get a one-way ticket to Mars, I might pick it up, because it is something that is aligned with the life that I want to live. I know what my human experience is so far. I have a good idea of where my human experience, I want to take my human experience in the next how many ever years that I'm alive. And if given such an opportunity, even if it's a one-way thing, right? Because the first few cycles of human that kind of go there, it's a one-way ticket. There's no coming back. And it's gruesome as well. I don't want to go in the first phase where it's just building the basic infrastructure. I think let the smart people do that.
Yeah.
But I think a point will come where they will ask civilians to kind of settle on Mars. And I may not be averse to it. I don't know if I'll take it up or not. I may have commitments by then. I may have investments to be worried about on Earth. So
Investments.
hey, if I have a fucking $1 billion company running over here, I'm not fucking going to Mars, man. But
Galactic expansion, bro. That's the next $1 trillion idea.
Hey, if my
Nah, but
next
listen. sorry,
No, please, please.
my whole point about Mars is one simple thing, man. When they have greeneries, when they have rivers, and when they have the sea, and it looks a little bit like Earth, I'll go. I have no issues, right? Till then, if you
Uh,
want me to just go to a red sandy planet and then build and do
I
the
think,
agriculture and do the crop and all that shit, nah, man, no. I
yeah,
don't.
I mean,
I'm
that
not
will
that
never happen.
interested, you know.
Yeah,
I think we
Virgin
will
just
never
spoke like a true
terraform.
Earthling, dude.
Yeah, you're nice. You're gonna stay here. But I don't think that'll ever happen for Mars, right? I don't think Mars will be ever transformed within any reasonable time period. Maybe in the next 2000 years, yeah, we can terraform Mars to those specifications where we have
Exactly, yeah.
an active water body, vegetation, and stuff like that. Until then, it'll be artificial systems that you're living inside. You'll have magnanimously huge biodomes in which you'll have trees, you'll have rivers, but they will all be man-made and curated by men to exist in a very particular way to mimic situations on Earth. I don't mind
Yeah,
living in those situations where Earth is sufficiently mimicked on Mars. I can't.
exactly.
Again, I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with you. I said like I will not go to Mars in the first building stage. A, I'm not qualified for it. B, it's a little too gruesome as well. So, and I think even the plans. If you look at the plans for NASA, SpaceX, and all that, the first 10, 15 cycles of humans that will go over there will be very technically and technically achieved people, and they are going there for a very designed purpose. And I think these people definitely, because of their education, their training, their mindset, will be able to kind of set up that future for us. And once they have done the hard work, I think it kind of is the just behind any business, right? A lot of people work really hard to put something in place. Once that thing is in place, we just kind of, everyone else just kind of takes advantage of it. I think the best example for that would be something like Amazon. We did not play a part in like setting Amazon up. We did not tell Bezos to come to India. We did not give him the stuff to do over here. But I personally can definitely say that I use a lot of Amazon, a lot of Flipkart and stuff like that. So a point will come where technology becomes more accessible to people, and in that state of accessibility, I will be not averse to going there.
What
I
about
wouldn't
you?
go.
You didn't
Anyway,
say anything.
I wouldn't go, but I'd definitely force my future generations to go. I'd be like, do it for grandpa.
Go suffer, yalla.
I mean,
I mean, I like Earth a bit too much, man. I don't need to travel into deep space
Yeah,
and go
I
see a red
know.
planet and all that.
yeah, again,
I'll
I
die
think
here.
we're talking about a very, yeah, I think we're
Uh,
talking about something that's very far off from achievable reality. The biggest problem for the three of us, I'm talking just specifically for the three of us, is that by the time something infrastructure like this happens on Mars, we would be well into our 50s.
no,
I mean,
we'll be dead,
I mean,
bro.
I'm not gonna hang myself,
Yeah, what the
but yeah, watch it.
Okay, that was a very raw,
You should go
sad way of
there. That
telling.
would have been,
Okay,
yeah.
I just meant we'll be
The-
dead. We'll be dead.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
exactly. Not just we'll be dead. I think even if we are alive, we will be quite old to make the trip. The trip
Yeah.
across space is so demanding physically. I just don't think we'll be in a place to make it. So it's a very far off thing for us, right? But it's definitely a thought, I think, a choice. I don't even know if it will be a choice by then, available choice or not, but an option that maybe our kids and their kids can consider, because we can't live on Earth forever. That is one thing that we
I'm
know from
open to
history.
this though. I'm open to this. I'm open to the three of us down the line taking a flight around the moon and coming back. We can do that. What's it?
Oh yeah, fuck yeah! I definitely think I will be making like a low orbit flight in my life. I will definitely
Yeah,
save up
yeah.
that money.
Yeah, I gotta
you don't
see.
need to save up that money. The average human's got this, bro. We're gonna we're gonna hit 10 million subscribers by the end of this year.
Fuck yeah! Come on,
Oh, what
guys,
did I
plug
just
in over
say?
here. Please subscribe. Please hit that bell icon. Let us help us go on a low orbit trip around planet Earth. We will be too old far down the line, so the sooner you guys help, the sooner we will make it. And if
Yeah.
we do make it, I think we can do a fantastic futuristic, the average humans episode
Yeah,
up in lower Earth orbit.
screw these crypto
Yeah.
coins going to the moon, man. Us to the moon, please. Subscribe.
Yeah.
Send the average humans to the moon.
Yeah, to the
Yeah.
moon.
I think we
Speaking
should
of to
start a
the moon,
fundraiser.
Elon Musk.
We should start a
man.
GoFundMe page. We
Yeah,
should start a
okay.
GoFundMe page.
Speaking about to the moon, cryptocurrency, to the moon, my ass. My ass. Like, my ass. It's gone down the drain. What the hell? And I blame that for Elon Musk, dude. I love him, but I hate him.
He's
I
evil,
think I
man. He
think
made people lose their money. Like,
And
what
he
the
made a
hell?
I
point
mean
0.5 billion
I mean
profit.
Yeah.
I mean, see, that's the thing about crypto in the end of the day, right? It is decentralized, and when there are active billionaires out there who can shell out so much money that it can actually kind of knock the socks off such systems, it is a risk of the fundamental format of these currencies. I think Elon is a genius when it comes to a lot of things out there, space, technology, and stuff like that. I don't think his expertise is within the realm of cryptocurrency, and I think his active engagement with the system kind of derails it. I think the way forward for currencies to kind of keep there, and I think it's a very good learning point as well for cryptocurrencies. This is a system that's very new. We have to live and learn. The monetary system that we are currently abiding by has been through literally 6,000, 7,000 years of evolution. That's why we have the modern economy with very complex stock market options and stuff like that. It evolved over a long period of testing, trying, failing, and stuff like that. So I think cryptocurrency will also have to kind of go through this journey. Sadly, Elon Musk is playing a negative role in it, and like Wajid mentioned, a lot of people are losing money. And I think it's it's going to lead into one of those fundamental rules about cryptocurrency. Never put all your eggs in one basket. I think that's a fundamental thing that
Yeah.
will kind of play through from such things.
Yeah,
I mean,
but then
that's
again,
finance
with
in the end of the day,
cryptocurrency,
right?
right?
Yeah, continue.
No, sorry, but with cryptocurrency, the funny part is you can't say that Elon Musk is playing a negative role also, because he was the one who gave it a huge boost also when he said Tesla's accepting Bitcoin, and then at the same time he took it off also. So it's like he was playing God,
I
with
mean, I
with
mean,
his tweets.
I'll,
He was playing God with his tweets. The same thing he tried to do with Signal when WhatsApp, the whole privacy thing came up. He's like, I'm shifting to Signal, and the amount of people that shifted to Signal and how Signal went up. So I think he has this whole God complex where he's like, my words actually make sense and people value it or something like that. He's
No,
just like messing around.
I think he's going to create some crypto coin or something. He's going to create, and it's going to be like an environment friendly coin basically, and everybody will pump their money in. He makes his money,
Yeah.
everybody else makes their money. It's just a plot. I totally see it, but man, dude,
Yeah.
I mean, did you see like I'm in the crypto space, right? And I've invested some money into it, and I'm just looking at the graphs, right? So I'm team hodl all day. I don't give a damn. You can flush my money down the drain. You can pump it as much as you want. I'm holding. I am never going to sell. Okay, like that's just my way of doing it. And I'm just looking at the graphs, man. Like one tweet can take a dive. One tweet can go to the moon. It's just these kind of people, these kind of characters need to kind of like, it's kind of good for the market. It's kind of healthy for the market, but at the same time, like the plus point is all the people who like did all these panic sells, right? Panic sells and all that. Like it's good. Like get rid of these people. These people are idiots. They're not even meant to be in the crypto space, honestly, because they don't understand crypto.
Yo,
Because because I'll tell you why. I hate these meme coins on the space. Hate it. Like goddamn, like make an NFT on it. Like leave the coins alone. Okay, like let's have like a proper decentralized financial system in place. Like it's good, it's secure, it is the future, and it's also a good way to understand scales of money right now. Right now, scales of money is through the roof. We're gonna hit trillions now. We're gonna have trillionaires soon. It's just an inevitable thing, and we need such currencies in place. But these people, man, they're just making a joke out of it. The whole memeology culture is it's just like pissing me off. But yeah,
Man, but I'll give you an example, right? This was when Bitcoin was going up. So I have a friend. He, I don't think I don't think he regrets it though. But I have a friend who had 6 Bitcoins.
and
So remember the time where Bitcoin was gradually growing, going up, going up, going up, and it reached $10,000?
yeah.
He cashed out at $14,000.
I mean, see,
Yeah.
holding is like Advait said,
And
holding is the way to
then let
go
me tell
with.
you, he
Yeah.
mined these Bitcoins like way back in 2009, 2010. He's a software engineer, computer engineer. So he mined these way back. So it barely cost him anything when he mined them.
Yeah.
Okay, way back in the day. And when recently I spoke to him like 2-3 weeks ago when the whole dip started happening with Bitcoin and stuff like that. I'm like, dude, you could have like even if you sold it right now, you would have made plenty of money because you barely made any did spend anything back in the day, right?
Yeah.
So you know what he told me? I don't care. At that time, I felt it was right to sell. I just sold it,
Yeah,
and I'm happy with it. I don't think about my past decisions, telling, "Oh, I
absolutely.
regret
Yeah.
it" and stuff like that. So, people like him, I have respect for because they knew what they were getting into, what they wanted, and they got out. Okay, fine. But then there are guys who like get into it just thinking about profit, right? He was a proper computer geek who was like, oh, it's cryptocurrency, something new, and he wanted to get into it because of that whole concept, right?
Yeah.
But then there are people who are just profit oriented, and I don't understand those kind of people because they need to realize businesses have its lows and ups, and if you can't handle both, it's stupid, you know?
But what I mean about crypto, right? Like if people are just investing for short profit gains, right? Then yeah, you're not really uh, doing much for yourself and for the market. And yeah, you can make your profit and escape, but you're not going to make the real profit if you're, unless you're holding, because holding
Yeah.
really makes sense. And more than anything else, right? Crypto is not about investing in one coin to make a short profit. It's about knowing what these coins are about, what these companies are. I mean, like say Ethereum. What is Ethereum? It's basically a decentralized system for virtual contracts. That's a fucking secure thing. That's why there's money into it. People just think there's money into it because everybody's pumping money into it. I'm like, no, you dumb fuck.
The
So
technology matters. Yeah, the
yeah,
technology, the details of the technology really matter.
yeah,
And I
just
think,
Exactly.
like there are going to be so much more coins in the future. I think, again, this is just absolutely wild speculation at this point. But since cryptocurrency is again so new, it's been around for like 10, 20 years. Yes, not even 10 years. I think 2005, and it's just 15 years now.
2009.
Yeah,
2009.
barely
That's when
15 years.
Bitcoin came out, yeah.
So again, it's quite new, and I think after 20 years of the actual cryptocurrency initiation, there will come coins that will quickly grab more attention than any other coin because they will have more bankable technology, very much like Advait said. People will be more cognizant of these technologies. They'll know what works, what does not work. It's like investing in gold, right? I'm sure people 10,000, 5,000 years ago had a lot of gold, and they knew it was precious, but they didn't know how precious it would be down the line. And today, gold is the biggest cap in the market. And they would have, if they knew this, they would have dealt with it very differently as well. But similarly, I think there will be iterations of cryptocurrencies that will kind of have its ups and downs. And in that case, kind of Ethereum, Bitcoin will always remain the OGs. They will be the gold and silver of a world of cryptocurrencies.
yeah.
And
Mm.
yeah, I think that's going to be the case. Anyway, I think that is fantastic cryptocurrency talk. I hope people who have cryptocurrencies are holding. Please, guys, don't sell it. It is the way to go forward. At least
Hey,
don't take it
hey,
from
hey,
me.
hey, hey. You should always put a disclaimer that you're not advising. You're not a financial advisor.
Yeah,
We are just following. We are
exactly.
doing what we believe. We are not advising at all. We are
Exactly.
not promoting any advice at all. So
Don't
do
follow
your
me. I'm not
I,
giving you anything.
I was just gonna say, if you guys want to go bankrupt, listen to Linoy. If you don't want to go bankrupt, then make your own goddamn decisions because we do not know
Be smart about it. I think the
anything.
best
We do
yeah.
I
not
think
know
the best
anything.
advice we can give to all of our listeners over here is be smart about it. Do your research, do your market research, follow the right people, and get the right financial advice from the experts, not people who claim to know what they know. Definitely not Baba Ramdev and others.
Oh shit.
anyway, a few feel good things that I want to talk about. Eminem came out with another insane track. I don't know if you guys heard it. It's the Killer
Oh, the
remix
killer remix with
with
Corday and Jack
Jack
Harlow.
Harlow.
Mm.
Another clap. Like, I mean, come on, dude. The man, like, I don't like.
I mean, no, actually, I have a problem in a good way with Eminem now. Like there has to be some sort of like when you start watching a movie, you like epilepsy warning and stuff like that. Eminem song should have that at the start. I'm sorry, because when he changes gears, I'm just like, whoa,
No,
my brain is
I
just
honestly
not
think
prepared for it.
Eminem. I honestly think Eminem is in a space where he doesn't care what people think about his stuff anymore. Like he's just right now like busy testing himself. Like, okay, can I speed it up? Nah, a little bit more fast. Okay, 10 times more. Nah, easy work. 20 times more. Nah, okay, sounds better. Like he's like that right now, man. Like
You know
what the
his, you know the new option for voice notes on WhatsApp,
what?
where you can increase the speed
Yeah, yeah,
of the
yeah.
voice
Yeah,
notes. Yeah, Eminem naturally is like that.
Yeah, I mean the
he's
guy.
a natural representation.
Yeah,
He's a natural 2x speed. Like you don't need to
no.
I
speed that
mean,
shit up.
What's crazy is that I've been listening to Eminem since third grade, and look at his relevancy even today. Dude. That's just insane, dude. Like with Eminem, and I mean Jack Harlow and Corday, they did a splendid job. But let's just be real, Eminem is leagues above these guys.
I think a
Yeah.
great way to kind of judge this is just go to YouTube and listen to the track. Obviously, please listen to Killer Remix, Jack Harlow, Corday, Eminem. But also check out the reactions for it, and don't even watch the whole thing. You'll constantly see this trend where, say, a video is 100% long. Uh, Most reviewers will react to Jack Harlow and Corday within the first 40 to 50% of the video,
Yeah.
and then the remaining half is just to deal with Eminem's words, and it kind of speaks volumes, man. It kind of speaks
Yeah.
absolute volumes to his tenacity, his skill, and his absolute mental nature with
It-
respect to
It's
rapping.
it's
Uh,
it's like he sends out a constant reminder. Okay, J. Cole is cool. Kendrick Lamar is doing his thing. Drake's amazing. What do you say? Let's say, ah, crap, I forgot his name. The guy who did No Mercy with Eminem, man.
uh,
Uh,
uh, no
almost
mercy.
Lil
The
Wayne.
guy who
Lil
did the
Wayne?
Will Smith song also.
What?
Joyner Lucas.
Oh,
Joyner
Joyner.
Lucas, yeah. Joyner is cool. You all are cool, but when I
Yeah.
get onto the mic, move away. You know,
I
it's
think
just a
it's like,
constant reminder.
the real Slim Shady, you can't beat it.
man, that guy is like he is a dog in the fight, bro. That comes to rapping, bro. I don't understand. Okay. Speaking of fights, there's something amazing happening in the fight game right now. Okay, and it's not about
Hasbulla.
MMA. It's Hasbulla, bro. I love this guy so much. Like
Dude.
Hasbulla, like I'm gonna want a poster over here, and then another poster of Hasbulla over here. Like that guy is next level. He is. You remember the internet meme, like Charlie bit my finger meme?
Yeah,
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 yeah.
Absolutely,
Hasbulla
absolutely.
punching adults is the meme, bro. That I love, dude. Like he is the next
yeah.
internet meme. Like he is legend.
And
Like do you know about Hasbulla?
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Shit,
Everyone knows
I
about
mean, that
Hasbulla.
guy.
He's on
Uh,
the, what do you say, Instagram and Facebook.
Dude,
He's taken over the internet when it comes to the
he's
memes,
taken
dude.
over the fight game, dude. Fight game.
yeah.
Dude, his
I think
Linoy, did you see the stare down video with Abdul Razik? He had the two
Oh
of
yeah,
them
yeah,
were
yeah, yeah,
stare
yeah,
down.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
that stare down video has garnered more views than the Khabib and Conor McGregor stare down video.
Yep.
Damn. I think, like very much like Advait said, he's gonna become the meme lord. He's gonna become that grumpy cat. He's gonna become that Mr. Bean face. He's gonna become that Yao Ming face. All these memes will be replaced by Hasbulla because damn, I don't want to say that kid. He's only 18 or something,
He's
but
18.
Yeah.
that kind of Mr. Prince. I think a lot of people think that Hasbulla is an actual kid. He's not. He's 18, 19 years old. But
Yeah.
his expressions at that size, at his features, is just absolutely priceless. That is
Dude,
internet
his
gold.
face is gonna be an
Fuck
NFT, bro.
bitcoins.
His face is
NFT,
gonna be an
bro.
NFT. His face is gonna be an NFT.
But you know,
Yeah,
like, but
why don't we start drawing something?
But like about Hasbulla, like I've been like really doing a lot of research on this kid. Like there was an interview where the journalist like asked him like, so what do you think about your deformity and your handicapness and all that stuff? And you know what the guy said? He's like, dude, I've got arms, I've got legs, I've got a face, I've got a body. Like, oh, how different am I from you? So let me beat the fuck out of the other guy. That's just like, come on, what a legend,
No,
dude.
his mentality is absolutely on point. I don't think, and I think in that sense, he's absolutely inspiration to a lot of people out there, because we do talk about mental health, we do talk about mental illnesses, we do talk about problems that plague most of us, but there are people out there who face challenges that we normal human beings just don't face. And I think he gives an opportunity for such people to be known, the world to know that there are challenges that these people deal with on a day-to-day basis. And I hope he can kind of definitely do what he's doing, have a lot of fun, make a amazing life out of it, but also use his platform to kind of empower those who who live in situations that are similar to his. So full power to Hasbulla, man.
So I think the
swear,
fight
man,
has
like-
happened, if I'm not wrong. The fight is done now. They just have to release the fight.
No!
Yeah, I think they just have to
Oh, they
release
did
the
a,
fight.
they
People
did
fucking
they oh they
react
did
to
a
it.
pre-recorded fight, I'm guessing. Then.
Yeah, it's all everything is pre-recorded, so now they just need to release it. I
Yeah.
can't wait for it, dude. By the way, you know the guy who was basically the mediator between them, like trying to hold them off. It was crazy to
Yeah.
see how he was holding those two little guys. My God! But that guy apparently he used to be. Do you remember a long time ago there used to be a dude with a humongous neck, like like a bodybuilder
yeah.
Russian.
Yeah.
That's him.
No!
That's him.
Where did the neck go?
The neck went away.
I have no idea. I have no
Oh,
idea.
man, what the fuck?
Yeah, man.
I mean, that is some dieting right there, dude. I mean,
Dude,
that was a lot of neck.
That neck is the size of Hasbulla, honestly, bro. What the? That neck was mad, dude. But damn.
I mean, hey, fantastic folks. Definitely a very pleasant content to kind of catch up on the internet these days. I hope Hasbulla does wonders.
Hasbulla, man,
Yeah,
you
man,
got
he's-
you got all my support wherever you are. If you ever come to India, right, like the Average Human podcast, like you got a spot.
My
You
my
got a spot.
my only thing
Absolutely.
is
No.
my only thing is he needs to start subtitling his videos, man.
I don't need
You need to get
subtitles, bro.
subtitles.
I can listen to
You need
6
to get
hours of
sub-
Hasbulla talking, bro, and I don't need to
No,
understand.
I agree. Agreed. But I would like to also know what he's saying. I'm pretty sure if his expressions are funny, he's gonna be bound to say
Hey,
something
I'm
really
telling
hilarious,
you, I'm telling
right?
you, that guy's gonna get a personal translator in
Bro.
in a very short period of time.
Bro,
Yeah,
I'd
for
let
sure.
that dude punch my face, bro. Like I like I love
Okay,
that
on
guy.
that
Hey.
note, on that note, Advait wants to get punched by Hasbulla. Linoy, what's your scene? You don't want to get, you don't want to be, what do you say, punched by anyone, right?
No, he's gonna
I
find
don't
the
think
future
there's much
missus on
anyone-
Clubhouse.
He just wants to find his missus on Clubhouse, and I'm happy the way I am. And thanks for
And all of us want to
thank-
go on that low Earth orbit, the Average Humans podcast.
Yeah,
as
and
well.
do a podcast in the low Earth orbit. We've decided Elon Musk is half evil, half good. We are not still sure about how to give advice on cryptocurrency. Advait thinks to hold. Linoy requested to hold, but I don't
Definitely don't listen to me.
recommend
Please
that.
do not
I
listen
don't
to me.
recommend that by far. I do not recommend such advice as coming from guys like us. If you knew us in real life, you would never take any kind of advice from us. But I hope you guys had a good time listening to us. So like I said, I'm repeating it again and again and again. That means you got to do it. It's really important. Please subscribe, like, and press the bell icon, and follow us on all the social media. We are on Instagram. We are on not on Facebook, but we are on Twitter, and apparently
on
we are on
Facebook.
Clubhouse now. We are going to create a group, I believe, right?
Yeah.
After
okay.
all
We'll-
this talk about Clubhouse, I'm pretty
we'll
sure
put
we're
the
going to
links
create
down
something
below.
on Clubhouse.
We'll put the
Yeah,
links
we'll
down
put
below.
everything down below, and just follow us over there, support us if you like our content. If you don't like our content, be our haters. You're most welcome. We love haters. Show all the hate and love on the comment section, but do press the subscribe button. That's it from us,
long
and
way.
signing out.
All right, boys.
Thanks
See you
for
next week.
listening to us.
All
See
right,
you.
boys. See you
everyone.
next week.
Have a
Take care.
fantastic
Take care.
week, and
Have a
Yeah.
hope to catch you
have a
all
great
soon.
time.
All right. See you
All right.
guys.
Take care. Bye.